So I got a dream that I'm gonna be at the top of the scene. On every screen, making my presence something to be seen, yeah. I'll make them all see that I could be anything I wanna be. If you got a dream, then you need persistence and lots of belief, yeah. Yo, don't take that negative energy, I replace that. I just wanna be me, I don't fake that. I just wanna be free, yeah, chase that. I got a new obsession, it's helping and teaching and giving everyone a lesson. It's living and winning and building something that's impressive. I don't wanna do the same thing, I wanna be progressive, so I'ma make a new me, a new beast, a true fiend. He's everything that he wants to be. Look in the mirror, what he wants to see is a dude looking back at me. I stay on track, yeah, track things. I'm setting goals, life hacking. I'm steady stacking. I see myself being happy. A better me with a strategy that I'm attacking.
Wait for the test and you know I'll ace that. Hit me in the face and I'm hitting right back. I enjoy the chase, so I'll stay on track, yeah. I enjoy the race, so I'll make that bag. Got a lot of dreams that I'll make come true. Got a lot of things that I wanna do. Got a lot of goals that I wanna prove. And there's not a lot of time, so I gotta make moves.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Fly Like an Eagle podcast, episode 7. 7 weeks, 7 weeks in a row, and I'm here with my brother, play-by-play with JJ. Not a lot of people know this, bro. You and I grew up together. Like,
yes, sir.
No one, and that people ask me, yo, how do you know JJ so well? I'm like, I grew up with him. Like, I literally grew up with him.
And it's funny because you know, not a lot of people know this about me, but you know, like when I got started with the YouTube stuff, the first person that reached out to me was you. So
Right.
you know, because you've been in it for like a little bit of time, and you were like, you know, like let me take you under my wing and stuff like that. And I'm always gonna be forever grateful about that because you know we just go way back. So
Yeah. But anyways, we got to talk the Eagles. I know they came up a horrible, pathetic performance, but we got people in the chat. Sharon in the beginning, I think she posted this a couple days ago. The Eagles got to work harder. Keep your eyes on the prize. Philadelphia loves winners. Yes, sir. Eagles, push. Keep working defense and offense. Keep moving. You can do it. Win. And here's Spongy. What is up, Spongy? What is up, Daniel? That's my guy, man. Congrats
Shout
on
out
being
to
mine.
Daniel, man, because like he always shows up at like the very beginning of like all my streams, like all yours. Like man, he deserves a lot of flowers. You know what I'm saying?
He really does. Yep, and I know him from Fall Guys. I actually met him on Fall Guys.
Oh, did you?
I don't know how. I mean, yeah. And then here's a Cowboys fan from last week. Still hasn't learned your lesson. But, yep. Oh, there you go. But we got to get started with this. I don't know if you've been on Twitter or social media after the loss or like the day after, but has the Eagles fans gone too far? And what I mean by that, did you see this before? Shout out to Extra Philly Sports, by the way.
Yes.
So you saw this. And guys, I made a reaction video to this on my channel. Go check it out. It's a rant video. But give me your take on this, man. Give me your take.
So in Philly, the one thing that we love about our fans and the people that love following Philly sports, whether it's for the Eagles, the Sixers, the Phillies, or the Flyers, is that they show their passion. Okay? This all comes from the heart, in my opinion, and sometimes we, as a fan base, show our blue-collar mentality, and we try to tell people what we're all about. And from just looking at this post and from seeing other people, of course you're gonna have the irrational Philadelphia sports fans, period. But this just comes from the heart, and I do have to say, with the way that the Eagles have played over the last 2 weeks, it is really heartbreaking that they lost to the 49ers and the Cowboys. So you kind of knew that this was going to be coming up and that this was going to be a really big conversation because these were really big games. These were the two most important games of the season, and the Eagles, they wet the bed. That's what it really comes down to, Mitch. And do I think that they took it a little bit too far? I think that we're used to it because this is how Philadelphia fans operate. So I would say no, just because this is a pretty common thing from a Philadelphia sports fan. I think that if it was a little bit more personal, then yes. I don't think that this is as personal as some people are playing it out to be. It's just all from passion and loyalty. So that's where I think that all this stuff comes from. But now, how about you? How about you, man? I want to get your thoughts.
So I did make a rant video about this, but I'm just gonna say this: like, you don't go to the NovaCare complex to do this. Like, if you anyone
Right.
who does not know what the NovaCare
That's true.
complex is, it's like the home away from the Lincoln Financial Field. So it's like the home away from home.
Yep.
Cowboys and Niners, they caught us at a good time. What I mean by that, they caught us, they both blew us out,
They
and
did.
so on, and so forth. And I'm just going to say this right here. This guy did this before. He did it last week against the
Yes, sir.
Niners, and he was like, run the ball or something like that. So it's
Right.
definitely not the first time. So for me, if we lose to Seattle, and obviously we're going to talk about that later,
Yes.
it's going to be, I'm telling you, this guy's probably going to have something else up his sleeve. So
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I would just say that, like, the way that the Eagles have played, they deserve this. You know, you can't deny it because it's not like that these games were close and that it was coming down to the wire. They were unprepared. Let's be honest. They were unprepared against the Dallas Cowboys. They were unprepared against the 49ers. They had so many opportunities early on to not only go for the three, but to try to just get into the end zone. When you're going up against those guys, you don't want to you don't want to just take the three early. You want to be aggressive, and you got to go out there with fire. And has Jalen Hurts, of course, that we're going to go more in depth about the whole X's and O's and the analytics from Sean Desai, from the defense, from the executional standpoint. But when your guy out there, Jalen Hurts, is not making the best decisions and he looks like he's in a little bit of a funk, I'm not going to put all the blame on him. It just is a team morale killer. Seriously, that's just how it is, and it's really unfortunate. But they have the chance to right the ship because now you're in a dogfight with Dallas. You know that's literally how it is right now. But if you come out there against the Seattle Seahawks and you come out there with fire against Geno, because it seems like he's going to be playing on Monday, as of what I saw from John, from John Clark from NBC Sports Philadelphia, you have the chance to right the ship. You got to be focusing on Monday. You got to focus on the games that are out there in front of you because if they don't win the division, Mitch, this fan base is going to explode.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, obviously. You know who I feel bad for? It's not the fans at all. It's not the players.
Yep.
Big Play Slate's wife. They tweet at her during the game because how bad he played during the game. That's who I feel bad for.
Now that's where you draw the line. Now you're making it personal, and now you're taking personal shots at not only the player, but you're going after their family. That is something that you can't do. That's where I draw the line, and that's. I mean, to me, that's just unprofessional. I mean, like, let's be honest. It's one thing to say that the team played really bad, but when you're going after people that are a part of somebody's family because this is their job, like they get paid to do this, and when you're sending them threats and stuff like that, that's just not cool. I don't stand up for that.
I don't either. That's why I made a rant video. If you guys did not see it, go check it out on my channel. Like, please do. I go all out on that. And pretty much, yeah. Hi, Miss Halftime. How you doing? Tell Philly Halftime we said what's up. And
yes, sir.
I'll talk to him later. What is up, AK? What is up? A former guest of mine a couple weeks ago. If you did not see that, go check it out. Fly Like an Eagle, episode 5. You guys you deserve to lose. Well, we already knew we were going to split, except for halftime, but we all had a feeling we were going to split. And shout out to my guy Dives, man, the statistician, the college guru of the SFL Sports Network. Sorry, missed 2.5 weeks until Michigan gets smoked by Alabama. Oh my God. Dives, come on to my watch party of that because that's going to be a lot of fun. You get to see me rant. You see me rant plenty of times. So,
of course.
Yeah, the defense is what it is at this point. It's all in the Eagles' offense getting their its together. especially when it comes from to the run blocking and executioning. Facts. We're gonna get into that in a little bit as well, but yeah, Jalen Hurts isn't it. Well, has Dak Prescott made a Super Bowl? Has he made it to the Super Bowl yet?
All right, all
Jason,
right,
I'm
all right.
asking you that.
So I would say this. Okay, like we're gonna talk about Jalen Hurts now. All right, like we'll open up this can of worms. I think it's safe to say that he has not played up to expectations. Like clearly that's how it is. He's not holding on to the football. The handoffs, okay? Like I go back to the handoffs that he's making to Kenneth Gainwell and just the fumbling and those types of things. That just starts on Jalen. And my dad and I were actually talking about this last night, and my dad brought up a really good point. If you're a defense that you know a defense what's coming. As a defense, what's coming. So if you're going to hand it off to somebody, it has to be quick because it's not college football. It's not that. This is professional NFL. You're in the NFL, and you got to make that quick decision. And are you going to hand it off or not? And if you're thinking about it, and if you're like, and if you're unsure, and you wait just a couple seconds late, like not even just a couple seconds, but 1 second late, you're gonna fumble it. And guess what? That's gonna be a turnover, and that's on you. Like that's not on the offensive play calling. That's on you because you're the leader of the team. You have to have the guts, and you just need to literally be on the same page with everybody, and you got to be confident. So I do give him a little bit of a fault for that. I also feel like at the same time, with the way that sometimes he's been operating over the last couple of games, his decision making has been a little bit off. It's the throwing accuracy. It's figuring out, okay, somebody's double teamed here, so what do I have to do? I got to either run the football up the middle, and I got to make sure that I'm holding on to it, and if it's a read, then I just got to go. Sometimes I got to get out of the pocket, and sometimes his passes are just not on the money, and that's been a really big problem too. But when I look at it from a pie chart perspective, he definitely deserves a little piece of the pie. But there's so many other things too, Mitch, and we can talk more about it. Like we said, we can talk more about the defense, and we can talk also more like about the wide receivers not holding on to the football. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, you got to hold on to the ball. That's not on any coordinator. That's on you.
Right, especially on the 2-yard line. But
correct.
Yes, let's go back to Dive's comment here. And he goes, great take, Mitch. I don't understand why people are attacking Slade's wife. Just bogus. I agree with you. I agree. She goes to all the tailgates, the 4th and Yawn. She goes to all the tailgates. I wish I could meet her. There's a lot of people in the Hardcore Sports Network, shout out to them, my guys over there, that actually met and talked to her and like had conversations with her. She's a beautiful, great woman, and it's just a shame. That's why our fans don't have a good rep. That is true. What is up, Raphael? How's it going, man? How's it going? Hey, Mitch, the Sixers are on the same time as the Eagles Monday night, so we got on that. Yes. I'll be streaming the Eagles game. I don't know about post game on Sixers, but I'll be streaming the Eagles. So Hurts might need a procedure to clean his knee after this season. I think that's true. I honestly think that's going to happen. Like, do you agree on that? Do you think he's going to get surgery after?
I'd have to see how they do like in the coming weeks in order for me to make like a full assessment on that. But I do notice that he looks a little bit slower out there. I can't necessarily say that I can say that. I cannot speak today. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on, but I'm having a hard time speaking. But I do have to say that maybe that could be something. I just wouldn't say that he needs to have surgery. Like I wouldn't say it definitively. I need to see more games, but there's no denying that he does look a little bit more slower out there, and he lost that little quick step that he used to have. So
yeah. Cowboys on y'all. Well, we tied. We 1-1. Okay, 49. Yeah. Okay. 49ers Cowboys on the Eagles. Okay, blah blah blah. Cough. 27 years and counting. One ring's bad. Okay. You weren't even around for your first ring. Like, what else is there? All right, here we go. Shout out to my guy Dives again. He put this comment on the Edge of Philly Sports community tab. So if you did not see that, you get your take right here, right now. Who are you more concerned with, Brian Johnson or Sean Desai?
I would say Sean Desai because I've noticed that the soft coverage does continue to be a problem, and there are times where he just does not blitz, and I don't understand that. How many times was Dak Prescott pressured in that last game? Not a lot. Hassan Reddick got to him maybe a couple of times,
Yep.
but nobody else was giving him pressure. Jordan Davis, not a good game by him whatsoever. You know, these other guys that are out there. Fletcher Cox maybe made a couple of good plays. I like the Jalen Carter. I like the little Jalen Carter play, but overall, they're not getting to the quarterback. Part of it, you have to credit the Dallas offensive line. I do get that. They have a really good offensive line, but there needs to be creativity. And I know I keep sounding like a broken record when I'm saying this, but from an offensive perspective and from a defensive perspective, you got to be creative. If they're attacking on the interior, Sean Desai needs to throw away the game plan that he currently had, and he needs to make adjustments on the fly. If guys like CeeDee Lamb are going off, guess what? You might want to think about double teaming him because he needs to have more pressure. And I would rather sometimes have Jake Ferguson beat me if he's not going off and then put all my eyes on CeeDee Lamb. If Darius Slay's getting beaten out there needs to be more of Reed Blankenship, and they got to play more man. So in regards to the defense, that's been more of a topic throughout, I'd say, most of the season compared to the offense. I think that that's the bigger problem overall. There's no denying, though, that with the way that the Eagles didn't get into the end zone so many times offensively, that has to be fixed. I'm not saying that at all because, that, of course, that needs to be fixed. But the defense has to step up because we knew coming into the season, we all talked about how great this defense was going to be with Jalen Carter and with all these other guys that they had there. So I would just say that in a long story short, that the defense, I've been really more disappointed in the defense than not.
For me, honestly, I'm going to go the other way around. Yes, the defense can't tackle to save their lives, but I have to go with the offensive side of here. And the only reason is it's the same exact plays every single time. It's predictable. Where's the creativity? I feel like I'm playing Madden, and you know on Madden, there's like those little glitch plays you just run over and over and over again. I feel like that's us, but the plays are not working. And as a matter of fact, you're not using Julio Jones in the red zone when you got him for. What do you get?
Right.
One touchdown?
You're right.
One touchdown, that's it. So for me,
that.
it's just like you got to run the ball. That's one. Two, I'm going to agree with you on how it's not on the coordinator for dropping the ball, and that's on you. Obviously, that is on you dropping the ball and all that.
Yep.
But for me, you got to get into that red zone. You're going to get into the red zone, end zone, whatever zone you want to get in, pause.
Correct.
I'm just saying, you just have to do that. And
let's not also forget about like the dropped pass, the drop catch that AJ Brown had. Like those little things too. I don't see any sort of accountability from the rest of the team, and I feel like that, especially after the game, that's what I was really disappointed in. It wasn't just the fact that this team has been prepared so poorly, like they're not prepared like that they should be. They're not as prepared as much as they should be. But in regards to just how everybody sounded after the post-game show, when you're putting blame on other people and you're not looking at yourself in the mirror saying, I got to be better, I got to step up, that is what really bothers me the most, because that's a leadership problem. And I think that just to sum it all up, this team now is not gelling. They're lost, they're out of sync, and there's no sense of accountability and leadership.
Again, I just got to go back to this. Right, I just got to get right back to this, and then we'll go into commercial break.
Yep.
We are 10-3. Okay, the Philadelphia Eagles are 10-3, and obviously we're going to nitpick each thing. Like each thing, we're going to nitpick. But is it like really bad that we lost the game? Like that's what everyone's acting like. We lost the game, but
it wasn't that we've.
Go.
I was just going to say it wasn't the fact that we lost one game. It was the fact that we've lost two games to the top teams in the NFC, and it wasn't just that we lost the games, that we got blown out. We legitimately got blown out by these upper echelon teams, And they backed up their talk. Deebo Samuel backed everything that he was saying up. And we all were talking about, Debo's talking about this. Oh, Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy are saying this and all these other things. And they wanted it more. I'm not like making this shit up. I'm not talking about. I'm not just pulling this stuff out of nowhere. They, with all the talking that they did, they backed everything up.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. And before we get into the comments, guys, we got to give a shout out to our sponsors. So make sure you relax. And if you want to go to an Eagles game, Jason, make sure you use Sherry's tickets. So let's check out Sherry's tickets and we'll be right back.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about Sherry's Tickets. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less and play more with Sherry'sTickets.com. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. Do not pay hidden fees and save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller and get those hard-to-come-by tickets to the big game? If you need a more personal touch, give them a call at 610-494-5050. That's 610-494-5050. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great theater and concert tickets that are hard to get your hands on. Remember, do not overpay and save with the best at Sherry'sTickets.com. Save 10% using the promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. You'll thank us later. Sherry'sTickets.com.
All right. Thank you to Sherry's Tickets, and make sure you use that promo code right on the screen. And we got to get back into the comments before the next topic. And Richie said, yesterday I met Emmitt Smith and asked to try on his 3 rings. Afterwards, my fingers were green. Old man Jerry Jones was his stolen rings or whatever. Yeah.
Your fingers were green, and you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Like,
right? That's the thing I'm trying to get through, but it's not gonna work. Garner Johnson should be ready when the Lions play the Cowboys. That is also true. Garner Johnson might come back. That's gonna be. We shouldn't have let him go, but I'm not one to complain. Yes, I am.
Right.
I know one guy who you should get. Who is that? Kellen Moore. He's a Cowboys fan, so no.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And then you mentioned that again. You guys are barely getting by teams. That is true, but we always find a way to win. That is the key. We're not blowing out teams like we did last year. We're finding ways to win. Like, I don't care if it's 1 point, 7 points, 10 points, 69 points. I don't care. Just get the dub. And then,
Mitch, I wanted to point out one thing really quickly. I don't know if you got to watch today, but Pat McAfee had Michael Lombardi on his podcast on ESPN, and it was interesting what he actually got to talk about. And Pat tweeted this out a little bit earlier and put quotations around it. But Michael said that, quote, the Philadelphia Eagles have the worst third down defense in football, and they don't tackle well. And with that, with just watching every single game with the eye test, how many times did Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott and even Josh Allen, how many times did they convert on third down and just get that first down, to try to seal the game and just to move those chains? There were so many times over these last 3 weeks where they have them on the ropes, the defense, and Dak and these other quarterbacks, Brock and even Josh Allen, they're just clicking and they're moving the sticks. That can't happen.
You're right. It cannot happen. You're exactly right. And here's my guy, Sports PSP. What is good, bro? Mitch, is Dak your MVP? No. Dak is not my MVP. For me, it's Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey should get the nod, but obviously I don't think he's going to. It might go to Purdy. But, hey, shout out to my guy, Pat Bernard. Thank you for the heart on the Facebook side, bro. The hardest working guy in Edge of Philly sports. Shout out to you, my guy. Keep doing your thing. Love working with him. Love it. And let's just get right into this question, who I think this is actually kind of interesting. What would you and people in the chat change with the play calling? I'm actually curious here.
I would say that what I was really disappointed in last week was when they were down by 2 possessions, when they were down by 2 touchdowns, that's when they started to run the ball.
Mhm.
And early on, when you're playing against these upper echelon teams, that's what you got to do. You need to utilize DeAndre Swift. You need to be doing some more jet sweeps. You need to be creative on the offensive side because when Hurts is backing up and he steps back, they know that he's either going to be looking deep or that he's going to be running the football himself and try to scramble. And so your offensive line, I'm not giving them any sort of slack or anything, but the offensive line can only do so much. And when you're not utilizing DeAndre Swift, especially early on, if the running game's not working, fine. But they were not experimenting with that, and it was just more about play action passes, screen passes, and those types of things. So from the offensive side, I would really like to see the red zone offense, first of all, has to be better. That's a whole nother thing that we can talk about. But the creativity of the running game, not just running up the middle, but also, trying to utilize other different types of routes as well, and giving DeAndre Swift the ball so that he can operate a little bit. I think that that's what has to happen.
I agree 1,000%. For me, it's basically this. Give Swift the ball. Why did we get Swift when he's not getting the ball? Same with Goddard, right? If you give the ball to Goddard, everything opens up. You don't have to just target A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, even though we arguably have the best wide receiver duo in the league, arguably. You just have to go this and there.
The other aspect about it, too, is that if they're not dominating the clock,
yes,
that's the strategy. That's the strategy that needs to be implemented, and they need to be running the football up the middle. And, okay, if you're taking time off the clock, that's great because you can win the clock battle, and that's going to help you in a lot of different ways, too. You don't necessarily need to be having this high-powered offense. You just need to be dominating the clock. And I think that needs to be the mindset moving forward throughout these next 4 games or so. Just kill the clock when you have to.
Yeah. And for me, give Julio Jones the ball in the red zone. I'm going to keep on saying that. Just keep on giving him the ball. I don't understand why. And then run the ball and use Zacchaeus and Julio more. That's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would like to see some more slants. I feel like that they don't run slants as much as they should. And I see a lot of vertical routes that are being run. And while, yes, it's important to have those vertical routes, and it's good to know that A.J. Brown can be cornerbacks and safeties out there, and so can Devontae Smith. But a short gain, if you have like a 3rd and 8 or something and you're at like your own 35-yard line, just go for like an easy slant. Like, that's all you got to do. Have Goddard run the slant or whatever.
Here's kind of something interesting, too. Whenever Watkins played, we lost. Mostly every time Watkins played, we lost.
And you know why? Because he was running a lot of vertical routes.
Yep. Exactly.
That's why.
Not a lot of people honestly say that. It's just funny how Watkins is still on this team. And everyone's... Give me your actual take on Watkins, since we're talking about him right now. Do you think we should trade him? Give me your honest take about him.
I would consider trading him because at this point, Olamide Zacchaeus is a better option, in my opinion. There were a couple of plays, especially in the 49ers game. The Buffalo game that I liked was when he was being double covered in the end zone and Hurts threw a dot, and Zacchaeus just caught it right on the money, came down with it, and we were like, oh my gosh, like Olamide Zacchaeus, that was an incredible catch, and he's done that time and time again. So if you have all 3 of those options as your top 3 wide receivers, I don't necessarily think that you need Quez. The one thing that we've also talked about over the years with Quez Watkins is that you're a great route runner and you can beat guys, but the name of the game is catching the football. And he's dropped a lot of passes over the years, especially when he's running the verticals and when he's utilizing his athleticism. So that's why you got Julio Jones. Well, actually, yeah. That part of that is why you did get Julio Jones, because sometimes, if need be, he could do that, but you already have 2 guys that can already run deep routes and that can just go downfield. You didn't really need that with Quez because he was dropping a lot of passes, and like, what's the point of having him? So I would trade him. I don't think that they necessarily need him moving forward, but they need to. The I would focus more on building the secondary. I think that is what has to happen.
Yep. And then we got Ryan here. What is up, Ryan? A loyal supporter. Shout out to
Oh,
you.
always.
Julio Jones and creativity to utilizing DeAndre Swift involved when he is getting the ball of running more vertical, slants, and blitzing. That is fact. And apparently, Watkins is a free agent according to Spongy. So if we can't trade him, just let him go. I'm fine with either. Shout out
Yeah,
to
I'm
my
fine
guy
with that, too.
Edwin, who's on the Facebook side. Shout out to you. I mean, he can be used as a decoy, stretch the field. No one else can really do that. Yeah, yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. But we can't just be talking about the Cowboys, man. We're going up against Seattle. How do you feel about this game, man? Are you nervous at all? How do you feel about it?
I'm nervous. I'm at the point now where I'm with the fans and I'm asking the Eagles, what have you done for me lately? Because it's not, again, it's not just about the results. We're actually watching these games and they are not playing up to their standard. Like it's not even just that. It's just the lack of preparation and they're getting beaten mentally, psychologically, and physically in all aspects of the game. So, and Seattle, let's not, ride them off because they've been playing against really top tier teams. They competed with the 49ers. I'm not saying that that they're a juggernaut or anything, but they can compete at a very high level, Mitch, and they are probably going to go out there with a lot of fire. Gino, it seems like he's going to be playing out there, so you really need to come up with a good strategy and try to blitz him as much as possible and have them utilize their running game a little bit more. The secondary is going to have to be on point. You're going to have to guard DK, and you're going to have to guard and you're going to have to guard Tyler Lockett too. So with those guys running downfield and running all these vertical routes, your secondary is going to have to do a good job at staying on them. And if the secondary, which seems to be the biggest weakness of the defense, is not contributing, well, then the front seven has to blitz.
Yep. Yeah, for me, it's just like it's just DK Metcalf for me, bro. It's just DK Metcalf because Darius Slay actually said that he's nervous going up against him. That's not what I want in my cornerback. That's not what I want. I don't want a guy to say, I'm nervous about this guy. The last game, DK took Slay's lunch money. He took his lunch money. So for me, it's just like, okay, that's the past. Focus on the now.
Yeah, I guess you can look at it with that perspective, but then I think about it the other way. If Darius was actually out there and saying, "Oh yeah, like I'm totally gonna be, I'm gonna be playing at the highest level, and we're gonna go out there and we're gonna beat DK Metcalf, and I'm gonna make sure that I do everything I can." Like, yeah, like that sounds nice, but again, what have you done for me lately? Because you got to prove it. Like you're going up against Debo, you're going up against these other guys that are out there, CD Lambs of the world, and you're just getting beat up. So I would feel, I think it's like a trap either way because I don't want to hear that, but I also don't want to hear this positivity because he's just not owning these matchups.
I've been saying this for a while now, and I'm just going to come out and say it. This is a hot take. Darius Slay and James Bradbury, I don't want them on my team next year. I don't want them. They're too old. They cost way too much. The league is getting younger. It's kind of like NBA, bro. I'm just saying. The league is getting younger. You look at CD Lamb. You look at all these receivers just toying with them. It's taking their lunch money. For me, I don't want Slay or Bradbury on this team. Am I the only one that thinks that? Am I, let me know your take on that.
James Bradbury has definitely taken a big step back in this game. Darius Slay is getting older. I do agree with that. He has deserved all the money that he's gotten because he has been a very good cornerback overall throughout his tenure with the Eagles. I agree with you from I agree with you from that aspect, but we also have to think about Avonte Maddox next year is also going to be back, and you're going to get some other guys healthy in the secondary. And while, yes, that should help, you do have to also go after some younger guys as well. So if they can, I would keep Slay still because I do think that he does provide value for the team. Maybe he's not necessarily going to be the number one option next year, and we also have to be fair, and we have to wait and see how things unfold throughout the rest of the season. But in regards to just looking at the secondary overall, I'm a little bit more concerned about safety, and maybe that's just me. I love Reed Blankenship, and I know that he's been doing a very solid job, and he's like one of the top leaders in interceptions the last time that I checked. But I would focus more in that area and maybe get another safety that can, that can go out there and that can stay on guys. And if he has to, go after the quarterback too, if he can do both those things, that's what I would go for. But that's just me.
Hey, for me, I'm just like, the whole secondary is bad, but with Slay and Bradbury, how many times have they been burnt? How many times have we seen their back towards us and they're running?
I agree.
Like, I'm getting sick
But
and
then
tired of it.
again, isn't some of the blame going on Sean Desai too? Because when these guys are wide open and they're playing cover, they're playing like a cover 3, and then guys are left wide open and they're playing more zone defense and not man to man. That's not always on. That's not always on the cornerbacks themselves. That's also on the game planning.
Yep, that is also true. Yep. Now let's
So.
get back into the comments. My guy Alden, what is up, bro? As a Cowboys fan, I think New York Giants have something in Tommy DeVito that Giants team have great momentum. Hey, DeVito's playing good. So,
Yes.
hey, it's the guy DFJ Hoops who you were telling me about.
Man, what's going on, man?
Hey,
love
what's
you,
up,
man.
man? He just sent me a link. I will subscribe after I'm done. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You already subscribed to his, and I'm pretty sure you already subscribed to Edge of Philly. So, yeah. Before we get back into the comments and before we get back into, we got to do player to game and predictions, we got to talk about defense and legal firms. So, shout out to David Archeri, and we'll be right back.
All right, guys, let's talk about Cherry Law Firm. If you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, you got to call David Archeri of the Cherry Firm. Call 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David Archeri fight for your rights. Again, that number is 610-565-0300. That's 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David Archeri fight for your right.
Yes, sir. Let him fight for your right. Shout out to David Archeri. And really quick, shout out to Edge of Philly Sports for giving me this opportunity. Yet again. It's been a great shout out to Al, Joey, Di. Shout out to everybody, man. Really, this is an honor. Thank you. And Michael here, I have been and still been critical of the Eagles' play. But when it came to the 49ers, went on a 3-game losing streak to the Browns, Minnesota, and the Bengals, and they came out of it. So I think the Eagles' 2-game losing streak, they can come out of it. That is true. I was going to make a video about that. That is true. When 49ers, right, they were missing all their pieces, Debo, McCaffrey, so on and so forth. We got all of our pieces back. So I feel like we can get out of the mud. Shout out to Philly Tick with RB. Shout out to him. And the secondary fed off the D-line last year and vice versa. And this year, neither is happening. That is also true. Yeah. Shout out to my guy, Beast Mode. What is up, bro? Jalen Hurts got to play a bit better, step up your game, and get rid of the ball. That is another thing, too. He's just, like, standing there in the pocket. He's just, like, here, like, what am I going to do here? He's just like, when you play Madden and you hit that button and it's not working, that was Jalen Hurts. He was like, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. But
there was actually footage out there today during practice, and EJ Smith was one of the guys that posted videos about it. But they were actually going through ball security drills, and that's the one thing that they really do need to get better at, because over the last 2 games, especially, the turnovers have been really putrid, and they need to be holding on to the ball, and they got to do a better job at that. So I'm really happy, and obviously, like, this is how it should be, but I can still be happy with this at the same time. They are addressing those skills, and sorry, they are addressing those drills, and they are trying to emphasize those things in practice, which is how it should be. But again, I am happy to hear that, because that means that they're taking this really seriously.
Yep. And then to close out the show, I always do this for every single game. Player of the game and
Gotcha.
predictions for the chat and for you, bro. Player of the game and predictions. Do you have the Eagles coming out of this with the dub?
I do not have the Eagles coming out of this with a dub, especially if Geno Smith's going to be playing, because their defense has really looked really bad. The turnovers have been really bad. So just from a historical perspective, well, yeah, over these last 2 weeks, I would say they need to prove me wrong, because why would I say that you're going to come out on top because of the way that you've been playing over the last couple of weeks? Is Seattle as good as San Francisco and Dallas? No, but 2 things can be true, because it wasn't like that the Eagles were in a dogfight or in a very competitive battle towards the very bitter end. They were getting outclassed. They were getting outmatched in all assets and all facets of the game. So I would say that my player of the game on Sunday, in regards to the Eagles' perspective, I would say that the player of the game is going to be Jalen Hurts. And I know that that sounds cliche and it sounds like it's an easy target, but I do, with the way that he's been playing over the last 2 weeks, he has not been the sharpest at all whatsoever. He's really done a really bad job in so many different ways, and just throughout this entire season, it hasn't looked clean. This team has been down by double digits going into halftime so many times, and yes, he's come through during the biggest moments, but over these last 2 games against these top teams, again, we need him to be that Michael Jordan guy where he can just go in there, he can attack, and he can do really good with the 2-minute drills and try to get the team back into the game, because when you're getting outclassed and outmatched, that's unacceptable. So I do believe that he's going to bounce back, and I think that he's going to have a really good game, but the defense is not going to hold up their end of the bargain.
And score?
I said 30-17. I think
Okay.
that's what I said last night. I think it's going to be 30-17. However, I think it's going to be a close game until 5 minutes left. It's going to be like 23-17. The Eagles are going to start off really slow, and then in the second half they're going to start to do better, but the defense is just going to give up the big play, because that's what they've been known to do.
So for me, my player of the game, I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. He's been playing great. Hassan Reddick. That is mine. He's been getting to the quarterback time and time again. He leads the team in sacks. He's going to do something that we're all going to be shocked about. So that's my player of the game. I do have the Eagles winning this game. I do.
Really?
Final score, you said 30-17?
I did. You want me to do like a little drum roll?
No. I'm going with, I don't think it's going to be that high. So I'm going for 24-21 Eagles.
You think it's going to be close? Okay.
I think it's going to be close, because look at our first half struggles. Look at our whole game struggles. I don't think it's going to be like,
I agree.
Yeah. So
I totally agree with that.
Hey, it's my
Mike
guy,
Green.
Mike Green. What is up, bro? Jeff Blackman, what is good? Thank you for stopping by.
We love you guys.
There's a report of A.J. Brown complaining about the off and second, how predictable it is, and had taken, to get rid of the ball faster. Got it. Yep. Go blue. Let's go Michigan. Please, I need more. Against Bama. Please. I will be live streaming that game. That's going to be fun.
Nice.
Eagles 30-17. I think Swift 100 rushing yards, and the offensive line and Sweat with 2 sacks. 100 yards for Swift. All right. That is definitely a hot take, in my opinion.
That is a hot take.
But on that note, guys, we're about to close out the show. So, JJ, play-by-play with JJ. Thank you for stopping by, man. Me and you, lifelong bros. So let
Forever.
the people know, man. Let the people know, where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube for sure. I also have Twitch as well. If you go to like my YouTube channel, which should be linked down below, it also should be in the description. We've been doing this for almost about a year, and we do play by play for Sixers basketball, Eagles football, and Phillies baseball. You know, we do like traditional play by play style for all those teams, but we want you guys to come on and just interact and join the family, and we try to keep it family friendly for sure, while also still doing the classic styles of the play by play. So a little bit different than like what a lot of the other Philly content creators do out there in regards to like the watch parties and more of like the sports talk stuff. We are going to be doing more sports talk, I'd say, but we also, our bread and butter is mainly doing the play by plays. So
Yeah.
yes.
And
But you
shout
can
out to
also
my-
hit me up on like the link tree. If you go to my channel, you should see all the links to all my social medias on there too. And Mitch, like before we sign off, I gotta thank you so much again for having me come on here. We definitely are bros for life, man. And I'm always willing to help you out anytime because you're my brother, man. And I love you.
Right back at you. Love you too, bro. But
Yep.
all right, now for the people who are on Edge of Philly Sports, you can find me on Edge of Philly Sports every Thursday for Fly Like an Eagle podcast. Next week is my guy Next Shift Randy. He will be on from the Hardcore Sports Network.
Woo!
That is also my brother, so he will be on next week. You will see me on Sixers post games. You will see me on Eagles pre games, post games if it's not too late. But yes, you can find me on Hardcore Sports Network, Edge of Philly Sports, Mitch Coxey everywhere. And with that note, guys, we are out. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to everywhere. And if you're listening to audio platforms, please hit that like and follow. Appreciate everybody. And we are out. Peace.